Hi, we're back, and we have a very interesting guest named Charlie Tubbs, and he's in the theater. Hi, Charlie. So glad to
Hi.
have you here.
Great. Thank you for having
And
me.
my information here says Acting Up Entertainment
Acting Up
is your
Entertainment.
baby.
That is my baby. Absolutely.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, Acting Up Entertainment is a cool company. What we do is we produce cutting edge entertainment for the family. It's a family friendly entertainment, and we collaborate with artists here locally, statewide as well as nationally, to produce a lot of events right here in Central Valley. We've actually been here in Fresno since 2015. So we're still fairly new to Fresno, but we have a lot of exciting things that we're doing
Oh,
here in
great.
Central Valley. So I'm excited
Tell
about
us,
that.
tell us, tell us.
All right. Well, one of the things that we're doing this weekend, we have a production that's opening up, and it's just a weekend run. It's called Ordinary People, Extraordinary Love. And it's a great story. It's an inspirational story. It's about a young girl who's trying to find her way. She's trying to find her way, and she's in a relationship with a young artist, and she's dealing with a lot of different things. Her parents are divorced, and she grew up with her parents are divorced, and so she lives with her mom, and her dad has another wife, and her dad's a pastor. So there's a lot of moving parts in
gosh.
this story.
Yeah.
But it's interesting the way everything ties in and comes back together. And the way I wrote this show is, as the show is evolving, you just get introduced to all these different characters. You don't really know how they all connect. And as the story is evolving, it's like, oh, that person can, oh, that, and just wrote it that way because I think that'll keep the audience engaged,
Yeah.
obviously. And it's a lot of fun. It's comedy. I call it a dramedy. So
Dramedy.
yeah, drama and comedy together. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's music and some original music that I wrote that's in it. We're doing some cover music as well, but it's a story and just in time for like Easter weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great story. So I'm excited about that.
It is, but I'm really wanting to know more about you.
Okay.
How did you decide to get into drama and stuff like that? Was that something that just was born in you, or what?
Well, as a young kid, I actually grew up introverted. So, and I still am a natural introvert. So I grew up as an artist, and I grew up with my parents. My dad is very athletic. My mom is athletic as well as my brother. So I ended up being athletic, but I was an artist always. And so as an introvert, I always tuned in inward. And I grew up and I didn't know actually that I even liked to sing as much. My grandmother actually just discovered it. When I was younger, probably like 4, before I started school, my parents would work during the day, and so I would stay with my grandmother during the day while they worked. And my grandmother loved singing, so she would be cooking or fixing me lunch, and she'll be singing, and she'll have me with her. And as she was singing certain church songs or hymns that she was singing, as she was singing them, I eventually caught on to them, and so I just started humming it or singing along with them and with her, and she just, oh my God, you have a beautiful voice, and she said, oh my God, so you're gonna be in my choir? I'm gonna put you in a youth choir, and she just, yeah, she just really just helped me to sort of open up that artistic vein in my life, and so I owe a huge debt of gratitude to my grandmother who just
yeah.
cultivated me and kept me singing. And as I got into grade school, I started writing, and I didn't even realize that that was a gift either. I just was writing, and the students in my classroom would always say, hey, save Charlie's story for last because it's going to be fun, it's going to be funny. And so I will always end up being the last person to read my story to the class, and or a poem or whatever, and the students just loved it. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll write. And still trying to find, discover me was, most artists are most artists have ADHD, what they diagnose kids with now, and attention deficit disorder. And always try to encourage parents not to diagnose that, because I feel like that is God's way of just helping artists to be all over the place, just sort of kind of who we are, And but
Right.
yeah, we're all over the place, and it is who we are. And most people don't understand our artists. And one of the things that's on my agenda to do is to write a book to parents that are raising artists. And the book is going to be titled "Help, I'm Raising an Artist." And the goal is to help parents to understand how artists are wired. They're so different from, just a regular student. They won't be able to, like, if they finish their work, and I was finishing my work really, really quick, I wouldn't just, once I'm done, I'm like, oh, I need something else to do, And so I ended up getting in trouble a lot because even though I made great grades and had good grades and got scholarships and stuff, but when I was bored, I would act up. That's what I would do. And interesting enough, and this is how my company even got named, one teacher I gave the flux. She probably has, she has indigestion to this day. It's probably because of my behavior. It was so bad. And 20 years later, I go back home to visit my family, and I run into this teacher. And when I see her, I say, "Hey, Miss Whitley, how are you?" And she's like, "Oh, my God." She's like, "Charlie Tubbs." And I was like, oh, God. And this is 20 years later, and she still is haunted by my shenanigans. And so she's, not happy to see me. And I'm still trying to, warm her up and like, "Hey, it's good to see you. You look great." And giving her all the compliments. And she was still just sort of kind of closed and like, oh, my God. And nevertheless, before our conversation ended, she asked me a question. And she said, "Well, I have a question for you. Are you still acting up?" And I was like, "Oh, no, Miss Whitley, not like that. I'm so sorry. I was such a wild one growing up. I'm so sorry." And so that when I'm teaching school in school or mentoring students, I always tell the story, and I always wrap it up with 2 points. And the first point that I learned from that was the life lesson in that whole situation was people never forget what you do. So as bad as I was, 20 years later, that lady was still haunted by me. So I always try to mentor students to, watch their behavior, mind their manners, because, obviously your people, the students that are in their classroom could potentially be like their next boss, potentially, or they may need a reference from that teacher or whatever. So mind your manners, behave, because if you be bad, people will never forget it. They'll never forget that it don't matter how much good you do, they'll always remember the bad.
Yeah.
So that was one life lesson. Then the other life lesson.
That's why I kept moving away,
Yeah, right. Yeah. And the other life lesson to that, when I'm mentoring students, is people never forget what you do, and the second part is that you have to be able to develop from negatives. And so when the teacher said that to me 20 years later, it hurt my feelings a little bit. I was like, oh my God, she still thinks I'm acting up, and I'm 30-something. She's still thinking I'm misbehaving. And so from that, she actually helped me to name my production company. So from that, I developed from that negative and said, well, cool, all right. So when I was younger, I acted up in a bad way. So now I'll act up in a more positive way that impacts, that'll impact people, that'll impact lives, that'll help nurture other artists. And so that's how I named my company Actin Up Entertainment. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, I know exactly what you're talking about because I married a man who's totally not interested in music or acting or anything. So I'm just there, and I lost myself, That can happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I'm all right. I love him, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the best I can. Maybe I'll get a part in your acting show.
Oh, let's go. Yes, absolutely.
So tell everybody again exactly when your show is going on, because it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The show is going to happen. It opens tomorrow, February the 14th. Doors open at 6, and the show starts at 7. And it's a full 2-act show, so there will be an intermission. And the show is going to be held at the current church. The address is 1754 North Fine Avenue, and that's here in Fresno, California. And we're going to have a great time. I mean, ticket sales have been crazy. It's going to be that we did our first theatrical production for Christmas, and I wrote a Christmas production called The Greatest Gift, and that show sold out. We did both 2 weekends, and both of them sold out. Great. And people were just blown away. And people were coming to me, it's like, man, this is something that I would have went to Oakland to see, or went to San Francisco to see, and we're doing this in Fresno. So
That's great. Keep doing it in Fresno because we need all the good artists and authors and actors, whatever.
Absolutely.
We need them all.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful for you to
Thank
come
you.
in, Charlie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please come in again when you have your next show.
Absolutely.
People have to know about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, honey,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Actin Up Entertainment is an urban entertainment company with a mission to foster an environment for creative leadership, diversity, and collaboration in the arts to produce cutting-edge entertainment for the main stage and for film. Let's meet the visionary and producer behind this creative force, Mr. Charlie Tubbs III.
Hi, my name is Charlie Tubbs III. I am the founder and creative executive director for Actin Up Entertainment here in Fresno, California. Man, Actin Up Entertainment is a cool company. We are specialized in producing cutting-edge entertainment for the entire family. And so we do that through our music events. We have a series of music events that's happening right now called Music and Me, which is a lot of fun. We just had one in June. We're planning another one in February. But these are cool events that you can bring your entire family to, and you can hear some great music and be inspired at the same time.
We not only produce our own signature events and productions, but we are a full-service production company. Be it a corporate event, awards ceremony, or product release party, Actin Up has the knowledgeable staff and network to take your event to the next level.
Another thing that we do as a production company, we do performing arts, and so theater is a big part of what we do with Actin Up Entertainment, and we're excited about The Greatest Gift. So The Greatest Gift is our first production that we'll be doing here in Central Valley, and I'm very, very excited about it.
He wrote and introduced The Greatest Gift in 2010 with an encore performance in December 2012 at the House of Hope Arena, a state-of-the-art facility in Chicago, Illinois. With both performances being produced by Salem Baptist Church of Chicago, they were able to create an exciting interactive experience for an audience of over 5,000 plus attendees, with a cast of over 200 underserved youth on the south side of Chicago.
One of our goals at Actin Up is to recruit and nurture performing artists of all ages, all cultural diversities. We're a diverse company, we're a diverse brand. We love the arts, and so if you're an artist, our heart and desire as a company is to nurture you and develop you and give you a platform to perform and do what you aspire to do as an artist. So that's one of the things that make us great as a company. If you're an artist, we want to try to build a platform for you to show off your goods.
We're excited to have the experience of Professor Thomas Witt Ellis, theater director at Fresno State University, who will be directing The Greatest Gift this year.
As we're planning special events, and especially like theatrical productions, our goal also is to be a gathering place that people can come and see good performances, see great arts, as well as be a part of the conversation. So we're culturally diverse, and the goal is to create artistic expression that helps to move the culture forward.
We create, we inspire, we act up. For more information, visit our website, charlietubbs3.com.